a simple, innocent, middle-class family. But Rhea, the portrayal is completely different. Tell us about Sushant and you. When you last saw him, when you first met him, did you ever think Sushant could take his own life?
Honestly, I still don't believe it, and I didn't think that such a thing would ever happen. He was absolutely the best guy. He was absolutely the most beautiful person I met in my life. He was intelligent, he was full of ideas and dreams, and he wanted to change the world for the better. He wanted to help children, he wanted to do charities, as he did a lot as well. He was extremely loving. He was the greatest boyfriend ever. He really looked after me. He gave me advice. In fact, if anything, I would take a lot of advice from Sushant on every single thing in my life, because he was ultimately also a star, and I was really proud of him for that. I was really proud of what he has achieved in his lifetime, and coming from a small town, and we bonded over this because I also grew up all over India while my dad was being posted in various places. I also come from a small town. I also am an outsider. I also am trying to make it in this industry, and we really bonded over these things. We have a friendship that is something spectacular, and this is actually our relationship was actually something of the movies. It's something of a fairy tale. And yes, there were problems. Yes, he was going through depression and anxiety.
No, because going by your own statement, it's a relationship which began in April 2019, but very soon after that, mental health issues started coming up. Was Sushant first diagnosed when he was with you as being a bipolar, and very severe in terms of locking him up, staying away from meeting anybody? And at that time, and perhaps that's why his family is so upset with you, is that he had also cut himself off from his family completely and seemed to become very close to yours. The point I asked about the fact that your brother accompanied you on a Europe trip, the fact that your brother was in a company with him, why should that be, considering he would have been a recent friend of Sushant's, probably after he met you?
So Shobik and Sushant shared a lot of common interests, like playing sports. My brother was very inspired by Sushant. He was like a elder brother to him. He was like somebody who he aspired to be like. And if Sushant was interested in a certain subject, he would involve my brother in read about this, read about that. And when his dream project on this virtual reality company was to start, he wanted partners, and naturally the first best choice for him were me and my brother, as he was already discussing all these things with my brother about artificial intelligence and virtual reality, and he was teaching us all these things. He was giving us assignments to do, in fact, and there was no financial transaction. So if people see it in that angle that, oh, it was for money, and just because it's a company, the word everyone thinks is money, money, money. That's not the case. All we did was start the company, which requires a very little amount of financial investment by partners equally. And unfortunately, none of that work really kicked off. Unfortunately, none of those projects came to life. But there was really no other agenda or anything to it. In fact, we wanted Sushant to achieve his dreams. He had 150 dreams, and one of them was to create free education for children. One of them was to create something on artificial intelligence that could help children learn better and study better. And I did everything in my capacity to help